Today we're going to talk about the concept of reaching out, grabbing, and taking something, picking something up without straining our shoulders. Hey everybody, Todd Martin here. I want to talk today about the concept of how to reach out and grab things properly without straining our arms, without straining our shoulders, and without straining our back. It is very easy to injure ourselves if we don't move correctly from the core. And so that's what I want to talk to you today about. If you're new to the channel, I'm Todd Martin, family medicine physician, Argentine tango performer and instructor, and Tai Chi practitioner, and I try to help you improve your functional movement patterns by understanding how to move from your core. Let's go ahead and get into this. To begin with, I want to make sure you have proper posture in your shoulders. So make sure your shoulders are not rolled forward. When your shoulders are rolled forward, you're going to notice your palms facing the front of your thighs. Your palms should be facing the side of your thighs. So practice rolling your shoulders forward, then rolling your shoulders up and back. Up and forward, up and back. Practice this. So you can feel these upper back shoulder muscles here that are going to bring your shoulders into the right position. We need to start from the correct position, and then now we can use our core to project our arm out and move correctly to reach out and grab something. What we don't want to do is just move from our shoulder and our arm using all of these muscles to reach out and grab something and pick it up. The first reason for that is it's going to add extra stress on the shoulder joints and on the arm muscles because we're not using the proper muscles to make the lifting easier. The proper muscles are going to be here that are going to create the movement to project your arm out. The other reason that we don't want to just move from our shoulder and from our arm is that we have very limited reach. If I'm standing this far from an object and I think I'm just going to use my arm to reach out and grab it, I don't really have the sort of reach that I need to get it unless it's sitting right next to me. What we want to do is to be able to use our entire core to project the arm out and bring the object back with very little stress and impact on our arms. So you'll notice that I'm using my entire body, projecting my arm out and then retracting the arm. I am not focused at all on the arm as I do this movement. The movement is coming entirely from the core, and the arm is just connected to the core and projecting from it, almost like I'm a boxer throwing a jab. That jab does not use my shoulder muscles and my arm muscles. They remain relaxed, and I project it out from the core. We're doing the same thing when we reach out to grab something. So let's get into exactly how we're going to do this. What I first want you to do is stand with your one foot facing the object you're going to try to grab, and the other foot turned out slightly at about 45 degrees. And practice pushing from your hip. Now in this case, this is my left hip. I'm going to extend my hip as I reach, not from my arm, I'm going to reach from the rib cage. These abdominal muscles turning forward on the right side, projecting out towards the object I'm trying to grab. So practice that first. Extend your left hip if we're reaching with the right arm. Extend it, turn forward on your upper part of the waist to project your arm out. And at the same time, we're going to use our pelvis muscles, the lower abdominal muscles, to tuck the pelvis on the right side as I'm projecting the arm outward. Now to retract the arm, what I'm going to do is rotate back. Instead of rotating forward on the right, I'm now going to rotate forward on the left, and I'm going to retract the weight back to my left leg. In this position, I'm rooted on my left leg using my lower abs. In this position, I'm rooted on my right leg using my lower abs. And I am rotating forward on the right in this position. I'm rotating forward on the left in this position. So practice transitioning from this position weighted on your left leg to this position weighted on your right leg, and then just retracting your whole body back, and you'll see how the arm retracts naturally with it without using a lot of the muscles in your arm. To replace the object, we're going to do the same motion and then retract the body, and the arm is going to retract at the same time. So to be clear, on these two positions, I have my root on my left side here. That's my left lower abs tucking. I'm turning forward with my left upper torso here. And I have a flexed right hip, meaning I'm trying to lift this right hip up by flexing it. To project my right arm out, I'm going to extend my left hip, change the rotation from this side to this side, and change my pelvis tucking from this side to this side. And then I just simply need to go back to the original position by changing my upper torso rotation, change the pelvic rotation back to this side, and then go back to flexing my right hip. So position 1, position 2, position 1. After you've practiced reaching and retracting, we're now going to figure out how to pivot and reach to the other side. So I want you to use your core to turn your body and pivot your foot, and then shift your weight back to now my right foot. And now you can project your arm in the same fashion but mirror image, extending your right hip, tucking on the left, turning forward on the left to reach out, and then retract by changing the core rotation. Projection, retraction. Pivot, pivot, changing weight, and now projection, retraction. So we can move very smoothly from one action to another action in the opposite direction. Now we're going to practice the same exercise, but with our feet facing forward instead of in this sort of stance. So we're going to face the object, but we are still going to have our weight on one leg and then transfer it to the other as we reach out and then shift back. It's just harder to see where the weight is when our feet are side by side, shoulder width, than when we are in this position where it's much easier. But the movement is the same. I have root on my left leg now as I project out and change the root to the right and then shift back. So that rotation and using of the hip muscles to project the arm is going to be the same action. So when we move this way, we're going to be using all of these strong muscles in the abdomen, the back, and the hips, instead of using these small muscles here in the arm and the shoulder to do our work for us. This is going to put a lot less strain on our forearms, on our biceps, and on our shoulder, that when we do it incorrectly are going to predispose us to getting tendonitis, which is so common for people who work in repetitive motion activities all day long. By following these tips, you're going to be able to prevent some of that repetitive stress. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and join as a member where you're going to have access to all of my videos. Thanks so much for watching.